Hey everybody, it's Adam Lugsch-Tehle, existential and lifestyle coach. Today's conversation might be a bit challenging for some of us. However, it could be the nudge, in fact, that you need. I certainly needed it. So first, let's set up the context. You might be feeling somewhat exhausted. You might be feeling a bit of burden, stuck in life, constant uncertainty, maybe some insecurity. Today, I want to go and explore how embracing that discomfort can actually ignite our spiritual growth. I want you to reflect on what hinders your personal growth most. Uncertainty, insecurity, maybe it's stagnation. These are all pretty common struggles. They're not easy to confront as they are uncomfortable and draining. However, it's essential to understand that these very, let's call them pains, can hinder us from reaching our full potential. I've been there too. And I know how immobilizing these feelings at times can be. They can truly drain your energy. They can drain your confidence. They can leave you almost feeling engulfed in toxic shame that we've talked about. It's a low self-esteem, right? It's a struggle that keeps us almost trapped in superficiality. Well, what if we make a paradigm shift? I'm encouraging you to think about how pain unlocks an extraordinary, transformative journey within ourselves. This week, a dear friend of mine composed an absolutely beautiful poem. He wrote, "Pain is an enzyme, an ingredient that helps greatly the absorbability of spiritual qualities. Pain acts as a catalyst, enhancing the assimilation of spiritual virtues, and when embraced with patience and trust. Without these, pain turns toxic to the soul." So how could pain be an enzyme for spiritual growth, catalyzing change if channeled accurately with trust and patience? How does this work? Well, we often resist pain without realizing that it could actually steer us, that resistance, towards our inauthentic selves. We have to embrace it openly. It reminds me actually of Stuart Brown's book. He wrote a book called Play. He was an accomplice of the late Joseph Campbell, who I love. And Brown notes that Campbell believed that people should find the path in life that fuels their spirit, that really speaks to them on that deepest level, to follow their bliss. But he says Campbell also showed that this path is sometimes hard. If your bliss is just fun and excitement, then you're on the wrong path, he might say. Sometimes pain is bliss. So in other words, in the pursuit of your bliss, that profound sense of purpose and that sense of joy that's resonating within your soul, guiding you to your deepest desires and aspirations, it's equally, if not more important in some ways, to acknowledge the journey's difficulty. Understanding that true bliss involves challenges and discomfort. If the journey to your bliss lacks any form of struggle or hardship, it might be time to reevaluate the path. So what ignites your bliss and gives your life deep meaning? Are you willing to embrace the challenges and the discomfort that might come with pursuing your bliss? Remember, if your path lacks bliss and that complexity, you might be missing out on the growth that comes from overcoming the obstacles. So imagine this. What would transpire if you viewed uncertainty as an opportunity for introspection? How would your life alter if you replaced fear with resilience? Well, the answers lie really in embracing discomfort and allowing it to guide our journey to self-discovery. Finally, I want to bring Matt Fitzgerald to the proverbial party here. In Matt's book, How Bad Do You Want It? Just awesome title. He recommends coping strategies to really optimize our perception of effort and get closer and closer to that wall of our potential. What he might call the psychology of pain. Well, the short story is like this. Researchers are going to study how different people deal with pain and how they've discovered that some people are actually much better at dealing with it with pain. And as a result, they perform at much higher levels in the midst of experiencing that pain. He says there's basically two ways that you can deal with the prospect of experiencing pain. You can either accept it or you can try to suppress it. Approach or avoid, right? Matt notes research on the psychology of pain has produced similar findings. A number of studies, he says, have compared the effects of two contrasting anticipatory attitudes, they call them in psychology, acceptance and suppression of pain, perception. Some people have a natural tendency to look ahead to the repetition of a familiar pain stimulus with acceptance. So they tell themselves something like, this is going to hurt, but no worse than before. Now, other people are going to try to cope with that same situation through suppression, almost a form of denial, he says. They tell themselves, in effect, I really hope that this doesn't hurt as much as it did the last time this happened. Well, psychologists have generally found that compared to suppression, acceptance reduces the unpleasantness of pain without reducing the pain itself. And so for this reason, it's actually a more effective coping skill. In, common language, this attitude of acceptance toward an impending disagreeable experience is called bracing yourselves. So, how do you deal with prospective pain? Well, here's another question for you. Is fragility preventing you from experiencing true vulnerability, genuine connections? The path towards spiritual growth asks us to really tread on those thorns before we reach the roses. And by learning to accept and work through our discomforts, we're actually taking a step closer towards achieving authenticity. We're eliminating stagnation. We're availing ourselves up for more sincere connections. So to wrap up today's conversation, what I'm saying is that pain might be uncomfortable, but when you're embracing it correctly, it becomes a catalyst. It really propels us forward on our spiritual journey towards growth. Comprehending this allows you not only to navigate better through life's adversities, but it's also like metamorphosizes them into opportunities. So I invite each of you that's watching this video, examine your relationship. I'm not sure I've ever asked of this myself, but examine your relationship with pain. How might reshaping those thoughts and feelings enable deeper personal development? Let's continue to help each other grow spiritually by sharing some of those insights from your own journey. And as always, here's to living unstoppably free together with a new frame on pain today.